That.
Wait, Mike. You're
Alright.
interrupting the class.
The left pedal is the inflation hose. You step on it a little bit, you get just the air.
Yep.
And if you step on it hard, you get the blast. Okay. To let the air out, the little release button is on the hose. You probably already know everything. I'm just going to go over it. Blast hose. If you need this, this will clip on the rim right here. You're going to hold it perpendicular to the ground. You're not going to aim it in there. And when you use it, you have to push this in all the way. There's a little line so the air all comes out the hole. Okay. So you would put the tire on there, have the inflation hose already hooked up, rotate it around, put this 180 degrees, slide that on there, 2 hands. Don't do the old reach over because this will kick up, sawed off shotgun, hit you in the face. So 2 hands and you stomp on the pedal all the way. All right, be careful with this. Works good, but it'll knock your teeth out if you're not careful. The plate in here where you're going to rest the tire on, it's got a little pin that swivels. This is going to go into one of the lug holes on every wheel you do. If you have a extra large center hole, there's an adapter. Put that on there. If you have a reverse mount, they have little covers, scratch guards. Okay. If you have to reverse, everybody know what a reverse mount is? Okay. When you take the tire off, it's got a lowest spot on there. Low spot always has to be up. If you're not sure, while you're breaking the bead down, look for the low spot. Because if you try to pull a reverse mount off the opposite way, something's got to give. This on here. Okay. Also, when you tighten the wing nut down here, this top piece, as it rotates, it goes up. It's got eccentrics in here, so you don't have to really tighten it, just snug it up. And as it rotates, it tightens itself up. Also, there's 3 different positions on here. If you pull the knob out, that's the low position. You pull it up till it clicks. And this is if you got a really small wheel. Medium position, where you're going to be most of the time. Or if you got a real deep offset, just use your own judgment. If you put the wheel on there and it's hitting the roller, gotta raise it up. Okay, just pull the knob out, locks into place. Bead press arm, it does not lock anywhere, it just floats around. Simple up and down. If you need it, I'll show you what it's for here in a minute. This rides with the tool head. Okay? So those 2 go together, just keep that in mind. On the handle, yellow buttons here, tool head, up and down only. The other switches, the left one is the lower roller, and the right side's the upper roller. These are the rollers. And it's got a click switch and a button. And the click switch is just something to raise or lower the arm. The button is the indent, which will force it out. So if you're looking at the profile of a wheel, you want to get down past the tire and into the rim. If you get it like this tire here, if you don't indent, it's just going to roll around the outside. Okay? So once you clear the lip of the rim, hit the indent button, and that way it doesn't come out. And the indent, when you push the yellow button, you'll see it just pops out. Okay, everybody understand that concept? Okay. And if you can gently go down, but when you click up and it locks, it's going to go all the way back up or all the way back down. Now, the yellow button on top of here is going to move the upper and lower roller in and out. You push the button, it's going to move both of them at the same time. Okay? Got that? There's a separate one up here for the tool head. Okay. If you're standing over here and you push the button, it's not as easy to move. You stand in front of it, it's a lot easier to move in and out. Okay? Inflation gauge is up here for the hose. On the side shovel, very simple. Pick up, push down, goes out. Do not put your leg in there, ever. Had a guy in Gaithersburg took a chunk of his calf out. He was doing something with the tire like this, reached back to move it, went the wrong way, took a chunk. There's an oiler down there. This is the only oil you can use. Don't use motor oil, air tool oil. It has to be mineral oil. So whoever's doing that, the left one is the oiler. Turn off the air, drain the air out, push up, quarter turn, drops down. I'll check it before I go. All right, any questions so far? Okay, so take your tire, put it up on here, line that pin up in there. And everybody understand how this works? There's two little pins down there in the water. Drop it down, lock it in place. Squeeze the little red handles and snug it up. Okay, that's good. Let the air out of the tire. And then you're gonna wanna bring the top roller down so it's just over. And then you're gonna adjust the roller so it's almost hitting the rim, but not quite. Okay, everybody got that so far?
Mm-hmm.
There's a mirror down here so you can see the bottom roller. If you can't see, too dirty, I always look underneath, even though they're synchronized. All right, so what I would like to do, get your lube brush ready, and you're gonna rotate the whole time you're pushing the roller down. Don't just push it down like a side shovel and try to break the bead. Rotate it, that's why there are rollers on there. And the rotation, if you step on the pedal, it goes clockwise, variable speed. If you pick up on the pedal, it's only one speed. Okay, that's normal, that's the way it's supposed to work. So, start rotating, you're gonna feed this down a little bit. And once you clear the lip of the rim, hit the yellow button. Okay, everybody following that? You're gonna indent, okay? If you keep going with this one, this will run flat, it'll just roll on the outside of the bead, then you gotta start over. So, once it's broke, take your brush, just stick it in there, loosen up the tire and the rim. Then, all right, make sure you got a little bit of clearance. If this roller is all the way up on the top of the rim, when you release it, it's gonna go back up and flick the rim. So make sure you got a little gap in here. Not a big deal, but it's got to come up a little bit to go back. So move this one out of the way. And if I click on it now, it'll stop right there. Then we go to the bottom one. And you can see in the mirror. And once it gets past the rim, same thing. And again. Once it's broke, lube up both sides so you're not fighting with it later. Okay, click on that, out of your way. All right, now there's a little sticker over here that tells you where you want your sensor. Even if you don't have a sensor, always pretend there's a sensor. That way you won't get shocked. But the sensor should be in line with the roller for a D-mount. Okay, everybody understand how the mount head works? Leverless? Okay. We're going to go down here and see there's a little gap here. I'm going to rotate this around to the gap for right now. So, get this down. And you want to pull this in here so it's just barely on the rim. Okay? Got that? Good. And your head's going to be lubed up. If you put a new head on there, lube it up. Because when you're forcing that down there, if it's dry, it's not going to go very well. And we're going to go down, and this arm will kick out. It'll bend a little bit, like that. If it doesn't, give it a little tap.
Lubing the outside and the inside part, but not the back
Of what?
of that piece.
The mount head?
Yeah.
Oh, you lube the shit out of it.
The whole thing, all surfaces.
Yeah, just lube the top, bottom, around there, the whole head. It's like if you dip the head in there. Okay, so now you can watch it over here go down. If it doesn't want to go in there, you can rotate. Keep in mind where your sensor is. You can rotate until it pops in there. Okay? If you're pulling up, you do not rotate. There's a sticker right here. Do not rotate when you're pulling up. So carefully, I'm going to back up so my sensor's back over where I want it to be. Now, I'm going to pull this head up to get the tire off here. this side has to go in the drop center, okay? So, if I'm pulling up on this, and this is not going in the drop center, you keep pulling, something's gotta give. So, take your handy little bead press arm, push it down a little bit. Go a little bit extra, because when you raise this up, that's coming up too. And just watch it, make sure it goes in the drop center. Okay? And you're gonna stop right there. So that's kind of cupped around the lip. Done with this. If you need this traction tool. Okay, so this is up here, that's in the drop center. Slowly rotate it out. If the bead starts going back on, you can stick your tool in here, create a traction point, it pulls it right out. Okay, again, you want your sensor over here out of the way. Now, you're gonna raise this arm up, it's got a little hook on the back. And then you're gonna pick up on this side till it gets in the drop center. Everybody following? You might have to wiggle it around or whatever. Get that up out of the way. Okay, so now it's being held in place. If it falls off the hook, no big deal. Now, we're gonna take the bottom roller, bring the bottom roller up to push the bottom bead off. Okay? So, left button. And you gotta watch in there, make sure it comes out. Because if you're a little too far away, it might roll over. Back up, start again. You see a little gap in there? Raise it up a little more. Everybody see the roller in there? Mm-hmm. Now that it's clear, hit the yellow button. It'll go out past the lip and it can't come off. Okay? Make sure it's not riding on there. And then just slowly rotate it off. Again, if it starts trying to reseat, you can jam this guy up in here and create a traction point and come right off. Okay, any questions on that? And this is the drop center, lowest point. Okay, if you have to reverse mount, reverse it, no big deal. I don't know how many Mazdas have reverse, but if you get some used car in here or something. And you'll see when I back, it's got a little gap in here, so when I release this, it's not gonna bang on the wheel. Okay, that good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this, don't touch this, because when we go back down, that should be right on the lip, just like that. Okay? So don't touch it. You're doing a set of 4, don't touch the locks. You can get Alright, put the tire back on. Some more lube on there. Also, on the outside bead, lube the inside part, because that's where it's going to be binding up when you're putting it on. Put this on there, leave a little gap, bring your head down. Now, I want you to put the mount head, or the sensor over about here, right in front of you. If you forget, there's a sticker there. Alright, so these usually go pretty easy. Put a little hand pressure on there. Pop that on. Now, you have to be under this knuckle and over this piece on the mount head. Oh, everybody know what this is?
No.
Traction device? Okay. This is a traction device. You're gonna drop it in between the spokes and it hooks on the lip of the rim. The spoke is gonna grab the arm. It creates a traction point, so you don't have to spoon it or hold it or push down on it. That's gonna stay there. Remember, it's in there when you get all the way around though, because it doesn't know. This is down underneath the knuckle. It just goes slow. All right, now see, this is going up on the bead seat. This is the problem. If I keep going here, it's a problem. So you put a little bit of tension. Bring your helping hand over here. If it's a soft tire, put your hand on there. Just make sure it's going down. Push this down a little bit until it goes in the drop center. Now it's in the drop center. It can't come out. walk it around. Make sure it's all the way in the drop center here. That's the key. And that's it. Now don't keep going because this is not going to go anywhere. So back up. And if that's a pain to get out, you can take your top roller down. Push your top roller and push it away. The key with this thing, if you're struggling, you're doing something wrong. Everything, piece of cake. Make sure you're in the drop center. Over on this side when you're pulling up on that side. Don't rotate when you're pulling up on the head. That's about it. And inflation, just like every other one. Who's first? Anybody? Anybody want to do it?
Nope, I got it.
Okay. Just remember, go slow, drop center. If it's binding up, stop. Something's wrong. You shouldn't break any heads. And make sure the wheel weights are off the wheel if they have bang-on weights, because it'll end up chewing up these $150 wheels. And it's pretty obvious what happens because they're all chewed up.
How much is that other piece with arm that hangs down?
These,
Yeah.
they're like 20 bucks.
Okay. I think we've already used a couple of them.
I gave them a bag the other day, so
We're on our third year.
that's why I'm here now. But yeah, what breaks this most of the time is this is still seated and you're pulling up on it and you don't realize it's still seated and you keep pulling up on it and it breaks. And 25 years I broke one, and that's because I was showing somebody they didn't believe it would break when you're pulling up. So when you're pulling up and you rotate, it's too much. All the strength's up and down on this thing, not side to side, so it snaps. And everybody in the shop will hear it, it's pretty loud.
Oh, you heard it pop?
When I was back here, it was loud as shit.
Yeah, they're loud. They're made pretty well. Anybody questions? Anything? Hunter puts out. They have their Hunter Learning channel. If you're not sure, you get a Corvette wheel in here, and you say, "Oh crap, what do I do?" You can pop on your phone or your laptop or whatever. And Hunter has videos on this machine, on that machine, on the line, everything. Don't watch Bubba's Tire Shop. Hunter Learning channel. Yeah. So, if you're not sure of something, go on there. Look at that. Good? All right, guys. Just